Good morning and a very warm welcome. This is the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. As always, we're coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. This morning too, we are ready to bring to you details of all the top stories from here at home and around the world. Do stay tuned with us for the news in detail. Let's start off with news here at home. As always, President Karunaratne returned to the island last night, successfully concluding his state visit to the Maldives, which commenced on the 28th of July. The visit was undertaken at the invitation of Maldivian President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu. During the visit, President Dissanayake engaged in extensive discussions with President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu, cabinet ministers and other senior officials of the Maldives. The talks focused on matters of mutual interest at bilateral, regional and international levels. A significant highlight of the visit was the exchange of two key agreements, a mutual legal assistance treaty between Sri Lanka and the Maldives and a memorandum of understanding between the Maldives Foreign Service Institute and the Bandaranaike International Diplomatic Training Institute. In honor of President Disanayake's visit, President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu hosted a special dinner reception at the Kurumba Maldives resort as well. Marking the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and the Maldives, President Dissanayake planted a tree at the Sultan Park in Malé as well. The President also attended a business forum jointly organized by the Sri Lankan High Commission in the Maldives and the Sri Lanka Maldives Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. He also met with members of the Sri Lankan community residing in the Maldives at an event organized by the Sri Lankan High Commission. During the visit, President Dissanayake emphasized that over the past 60 years, the political trust, close ties between the people of the two nations and goodwill have formed a strong foundation for friendship and multifaceted cooperation. Both sides expressed commitment to further strengthening this close friendship and collaboration in the years ahead. This is a story that has been making headlines this morning all around the world. Now, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has said that Canada plans to recognize a Palestinian state in September, becoming the third G7 nation to make such an announcement in the recent days. Carney said the move depends on democratic reforms, including the Palestinian Authority holding elections next year without Hamas. His remarks come a day after UK announced it would recognize a Palestinian state in September unless Israel agreed to a ceasefire and other conditions, and a week after France unveiled a similar plan from their end. Israel's foreign ministry rejected Canada's announcement, calling it a reward for Hamas. Most countries, 147 of the UN's 193 member states, formally recognize a Palestinian state. Carney said Canada would formally recognize a state of Palestine at the upcoming United Nations General Assembly. He cited the expansion of Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank, the worsening humanitarian situation in Gaza, and the 7th of October 2023 attacks on Israel by Hamas as reasons behind Canada's dramatic shift in foreign policy. He said a recognition of Palestinian statehood would hinge on commitments by the Palestinian Authority to fundamentally reform its governance and demilitarize the territory. Let's take a look at what Carney had to say.
Canada intends to recognize the state of Palestine at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025. This intention is predicated on the Palestinian Authority's commitment to much-needed reform, including commitments by the Palestinian Authority's President Abbas to fundamentally reform its governance, to hold general elections in 2026 in which Hamas can play no part, and to demilitarize the Palestinian state. Canada reiterates that Hamas must immediately release all hostages taken in their horrific terrorist attack of October 7th, that Hamas must disarm and that Hamas must play no role in the future governance of Palestine. Canada will always steadfastly support Israel's existence as an independent state in the Middle East, living in peace and security. Any path to lasting peace for Israel also requires a viable and stable Palestinian state, and one that recognizes Israel's inalienable right to security and peace.
Well, Carney's announcement was criticized by Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It said in a post on X that Canada's plan harms the efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza and a framework for the release of the hostages. Canada's Conservatives also took issue with Carney's announcement. The Prime Minister has been under pressure to address Palestinian statehood since the United Kingdom and France, close allies of Canada, came out with their own statements on the issue in the recent days. Nearly 200 former Canadian ambassadors and diplomats signed a letter on Tuesday calling on Carney to recognize a Palestinian state. With that, we move on to more news overseas this morning. Now, President Donald Trump says that the United States will charge a 15% tariff on imports from South Korea as part of an agreement with the Asian trading partner that avoids even higher levies. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung said the deal would put his country on an equal or better footing compared with other countries. The announcement comes just a day before an August 1st deadline for countries to reach agreements with the United States or be hit with higher tariffs. South Korea has been facing a 25% levy if it has not struck a deal. As part of this arrangement, South Korea would invest $350 billion in the United States for projects selected by Trump and buy $100 billion of liquefied natural gas and other energy products. Trump also said South Korea would accept American products, including cars, trucks, and agriculture, into its markets and impose no import duties on them. Lee Jae-myung would visit the White House within the next 2 weeks for a meeting with Trump, according to the U.S. president. Since returning to office in January, Trump has introduced a series of import taxes on goods from other countries and threatened many more. He argues that these tariffs will boost American manufacturing and protect jobs as well. However, his volatile international trade policy has thrown the world economy into chaos, and critics have warned that the tariffs are making products more expensive for U.S. consumers. Meanwhile, the government of India has officially responded to the recent remarks by U.S. President Donald Trump regarding a 25% tariff and penalties on bilateral trade, emphasizing its commitment to protecting national interests. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the government confirmed it has taken note of the U.S. President's commitments and is studying their implications. Over the past few months, India and the U.S. have been engaged in negotiations aimed at finalizing a fair, balanced and mutually beneficial bilateral trade agreement. The statement reiterated India's commitment to achieving this objective. The ministry emphasized that the government attaches the utmost importance to protecting and promoting the welfare of farmers, entrepreneurs and MSMEs. It further assured that India will take all necessary measures to safeguard its national interest, citing its consistent approach in the past trade agreements, including the recently concluded Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement with the United Kingdom. Well, let's move on to local news for this morning. The Ministry of Public Security has announced plans to recruit 10,000 female officers to the Sri Lanka Police. Minister of Public Security Ananda Vijaypala stated that the relevant Gazette notification will be issued next week. In addition, recruitment interviews are currently underway to enlist another 5,000 police officers. The minister noted that these recruitments aim to fill approximately 10,000 vacancies that currently exist within the police service of Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, a woman has been arrested with heroin in Kaluagasvilla, Nitambur. The suspect, aged 43, is a resident of Nitambur. Investigations into the incident are being conducted by the Nitambur police. Meanwhile, one person has been critically injured in a road accident in Udugama, Galle. The accident occurred in Karunaratne along the Galle-Udugama main road when a car veered off control and collided with a Sri Lanka Transport Board bus travelling in the opposite direction. The driver of the car sustained serious injuries and has been admitted to the Karunaratne Teaching Hospital. The accident took place yesterday evening. According to police statistics, from the 1st of January to the 28th of July this year, a total of 1,446 fatal road accidents have been reported, resulting in 1,532 deaths. This marks a noticeable increase compared to the same period last year, when 1,290 road accidents were reported between the 1st of January and 26th of July 2024, claiming 1,352 lives. And in more local news, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has announced its plans to increase the volume of daily digital payments in the country by around 30%. Director of the CBSL Payments and Settlements Department, KBK Alves, stated that awareness programs will be conducted across major cities island-wide to promote this initiative. He noted that the category of digital payments includes online banking transactions conducted via the internet as well as card-based payments. Currently, the daily volume of digital transactions exceeds 1.65 million. With the planned promotional drive, the CBSL aims to raise the figure to 2.15 million transactions per day. And finally, onto your weather forecast for today. The Met Department says that atmospheric conditions are getting favorable for evening thunder showers in the northern, north-central, Uber and eastern provinces during the next few days. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the northern, north-central, central, Uber and eastern provinces after 1 p.m. Fairly heavy falls above 50 millimeters are likely at some places as well. A few showers may occur in the western and Sabaragamo provinces and in the Galle and Matra districts. Fairly strong winds of about 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over southern province as well. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Let's now move on to your sports news for this morning. In sports, it's cricket. The CCC team emerged champions of this year's Inter-Club Limited Overs Cricket Tournament, defeating the police team by 187 runs in the final. The final was held at the CCC grounds in Colombo. Winning the toss and opting to bat first, the host CCC team posted a commanding total. Opening batsman Nishan Madhushkar scored 88 runs, while Kamindu Mendis contributed 59 runs. Young batsman Pawan Ratnayaka played a spectacular unbeaten innings, scoring 158 runs off 94 balls, including 13 fours and 9 sixes. CCC ended their innings at 387 for 5 wickets in the allotted 50 overs. Chasing a target of 388, the police team was bowled out for 200 runs in 40.2 overs. Kusal Janit Pereira was dismissed for 31 runs, while Piamal Pereira top scored with 57 runs. Inuka Karunaratne was the pick of the bowlers for CCC, claiming 4 wickets. And that's a wrap of this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. Thank you for joining us today, and do join us tomorrow as well, same time, same place, for more of the very latest from here at home and around the world. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.